a few numericals. Okay, so you know that you can calculate the effective contribution of the atoms in one unit cell. If they are at corner, the contribution by one atom will be 1 by 8. Each atom at the corner, 1 by 8. If it is on the face, contribution will be half. Okay. If it is at the edge, normally the questions on edge are not asked. It will be 1 by 4. If it is in the body, then it will be 1. The whole contribution 1. Now the question is, a cubic solid is made up of two elements X and Y. Atoms Y are present at the corners of the cube, Y at the corners, and atom X at the body center. What is the formula of the compound? What are the coordination numbers of X and Y? So Y at corners, at 8 corners, hence contribution in the unit cell will be 8 into 1 by 8, that is 1. X at body center, hence contribution 1. So both contribution 1 means the formula will be X 1 is to 1, that is X, Y. So this is how you will calculate the formula. In one unit, how many atoms of X you have? 1. How many atoms of Y you have? 1. So the formula is X, Y. This is how you will write. The atoms Y are present at the 8 corners of the cube. Therefore, number of atoms of Y in the unit cell will be 1 by 8 into 8, that is 1. Atoms X are present at body center. Therefore, the contribution will be 1. Hence, the ratio of atoms X and Y 1 is to 1. Hence, the formula XY. So this is the simplest question in this way. Now, coordination number of each X and Y will be 8 because it is, you can consider it from the Y. Y is present on all 8 corners. Now, closed pack structures. Closed pack structures means how the atoms are arranged with one another. And there are various ways atoms are arranged. And again, I will be discussing only those ones which exist, not the hypothetical ones. So you should not be asking that why this does not happen. There are various ways due to intermolecular forces, imbalance in forces. Some lattices do not exist. So we will be talking about only which exist. The easiest one is one line, okay, one dimensional, which obviously we are not going to talk. This is just for explanation purpose how three dimensionals are formed. So this is one dimensional. If we extend it in one direction, there are two types. We can extend it like this, that we have one over the other at the exact same position. So the atom which is above is at the same position, which is the lower one. So this is called AAA because we have the same type of arrangement. So if we consider this one as A arrangement, then all are similar in this case. But second case is possible, that instead of having exactly above the same atom, we can have like this also. The above one can be in the groove. Now, first and third are same, and it is repeating like A, B, A, B. So it will be represented as A, B, A, B type. Alternate layers. So the previous one, where the layers are, the lines are actually exactly one over the other. This is known as square closed pattern. This is known as a square closed packing. The one in which the next line is in the grooves of the first one, it is known as hexagonal closed packing, HCP. So it will be referred as HCP. We will be talking about it a lot of times. Okay, Isa, fine. So in this case, a hexagon is formed. So that's why hexagonal closed packing. And we will be talking about three-dimensional, not two-dimensional. This is for explanation how we can reach to how many types of three-dimensional packings can be there. Okay. So from first we got the second, that is from one dimensional we got two dimensionals. There are two possibilities. Now from two dimensionals we can go to three dimensions. Means when these planes are kept one over the other. When these planes are kept one over the other, then again we can have square closed packing, hexagonal closed packing. Within hexagonal closed packing, we can have covering tetrahedral voids and covering octahedral voids. So similar to what we did in two-dimensional, if the layers are exactly one over the other, the atoms are exactly one over the other, then it is square closed pack in 3D. Okay. The name is square closed pack and cube is formed here. Okay. Hexagonal closed pack covering tetrahedral void, and try to understand this. Why we are calling some as tetrahedral void and why we are calling few voids as octahedral voids. Tetrahedral means having four sides, four faces. Octahedral means having eight faces. Void means the gap, empty space. Empty space between the or amongst the atoms or ions or particles. Those are termed as voids. Now understand how these are formed. So this one is the first layer. This one is easy, square close pack. Okay. Now we are talking about hexagonal close packing. And in hexagonal close packing, there are two types, tetrahedral and octahedral voids. So for tetrahedral voids, the E is written here. For octahedral voids, O is written here. Okay. So this is the first layer. And now second layer is there. I hope you are able to see the second layer. I have kept it dim so that we can distinguish the two layers. Now, if you visualize it, at the bottom you have three, one, two, and three. In the bottom layer, you have three atoms. Then at the top of it, you have the fourth one. Now, if you see how they are arranged, they are in between. This is actually a tetrahedral hole form. When you put this here, actually tetrahedral hole is formed. Just see the shape of the void. Okay, that will be tetrahedral void because inside tetrahedral will be formed. Four atoms will form tetrahedral. That's why tetrahedral void. How the octahedral void will be formed? For octahedral, just if you see, for octahedral, you have the above layer, but there is exactly no atom here. So octahedral basically three atoms of the lower layer and three atoms of the upper layer in combination form octahedral void. So octahedral void is like this, something like this. Blue one is the lower layer and the red one is the upper layer. So three atoms at the top and three atoms at the bottom. When they are arranged, they form octahedron. Total eight faces there, six vertical faces and two horizontal faces, top face and bottom face. So total eight faces, that's why octahedron. Just consider the atoms as the corners or vertices of the octahedron. That's why it is known as octahedral void. So hexagonal closed pack has tetrahedral as well as octahedral voids. Now, when we talked about ABAB, we said that it is HCP. So you need to remember that ABAB type is hexagonal closed pack. Examples are magnesium and zinc. This is important to remember. Quite a few times it is asked in 1 mark. We are talking about tetrahedral voids. Tetrahedral voids are present in magnesium and zinc. The type is ABABHCP. Try to memorize right now the examples. For octahedral voids, these are octahedral voids here. When three lower atoms and three upper atoms are arranged alternatively, then it is ABC type or CCP or FCC. FCC stands for face centered cubic. That's or closed cubic packing, CCP. Both are same, and it is ABC type. All three layers are different. Then they repeat. Examples copper and silver. So octahedral voids example must remember copper and silver. Tetrahedral voids examples magnesium and zinc, HCP. And you will be given just zinc. You won't be told that it is which type of lattice. You have to remember. Similarly, magnesium is given. If you don't remember that it is HCP type, you won't be able to answer. If the silver given, you have to remember that it is FCC type, copper FCC type, and octahedral voids. If the number of closed packed spheres is n, so there is a relationship between how many tetrahedral voids will be there and how many octahedral voids there. So this is a fixed number if we know the total number of closed packed spheres. So suppose there are n atoms. Spheres means atoms here. There are total n atoms. Then octahedral voids will be equal to n. Tetrahedral voids will be double of this one, 2n. And this relationship will help you to find the formula in the questions where you are asked calculate the formula if these many voids are there, a few voids are occupied, a few voids are vacant, then this will help you to find the formula. And relationship is easy to remember. Total n number of atoms or spheres, same number will be octahedral voids, double the number will be tetrahedral voids. So formula of a compound can be easily obtained. We know that when particles are closed packed resulting either CCP or HCP structure, two types of voids are generated. While the number of octahedral voids present in lattice is equal to the number of close packed particles, the number of tetrahedral void is twice. In ionic solids, the bigger ions, usually anions, form the close pack structure. Means anions are normally the lattice points. Means anions are normally the spheres, close pack structure. And the smaller ions, usually cations, occupy the void. So anions normally form the structure, and cations are placed in the voids, either in tetrahedral void or in octahedral void, depending on the size. If it can, tetrahedral voids are smaller than octahedral voids. Okay. If the cations are smaller and they can fit into the tetrahedral voids, they will go to tetrahedral void, not octahedral voids. Even though they can fit in octahedral voids also, but in octahedral voids, they will be loose. They will not be fit, hence unstable. So that's why they will fit into the tetrahedral void, where they can be somewhat stable, more stable as compared to octahedral voids. So if the latter ion is small enough, then tetrahedral voids are occupied. If bigger, than octahedral. That's what I said. If the cations are very small, they will go to tetrahedral. If they can't fit in tetrahedral, then they will go to octahedral voids. Not all octahedral or tetrahedral voids are occupied. This is again important because in few questions, when you are asked to find the formula of the compound, it will not be straightforward that n 2n. The formula will not be in that fashion if all voids are not occupied. So in a given compound, the fraction of octahedral or tetrahedral voids that are occupied depends upon the chemical formula of the compound. Otherwise, all compounds will be of this type, AB or AB2 or A2B. All formulas will be like this: A4, B2, A8, B4, because cations will be either equal to the number of anions or the double. If they are in octahedral voids, they will be equal. If they are in tetrahedral voids, they will be double. So all the formulas should have been like this, but it's not the case. The reason is that not all the voids are occupied. Now question. A compound is formed by two elements. Mm, yes, X and Y. Atoms of element Y, anions make CCP. And those of the elements X, cations, occupy all the octahedral voids. What is the formula of the compound? So Y is actually N. A compound is formed by two elements X and Y. Atoms of X make the CCP. So as Y make the CCP, okay, these are the lattice points, okay, or structure spheres. That is N. As X occupy all, is written all octahedral voids, hence number of X also equal to N. Octahedral voids are equal to N. It means formula X is to Y, N is to N, 1 is to 1, that is XY. Yes, Supmanu, Avnish, correct. You got it correct. Why they form the structure means they are the atoms, spheres, okay? All are atoms anyway here. So they form the structure. Y form the structure. X are the cations. These are in the voids, but octahedral voids will be same number as the number of spheres. So both will be n. Next question. And now here, this is variation. Not all are occupied here. Atoms of element B form HCP lattice and those of the element A occupy 2 by third of tetrahedral voids. So B form HCP. So you will say assuming there are n atoms of element B. Number of total tetrahedral voids will be twice the n. 2n tetrahedral voids are double. But only two-thirds tetrahedral voids are occupied. That is 2 by third of 2n. That is 4 by 3n. Hence, A number of atoms of A equals to 4 by 3n. Hence, A is to B equals to 4 by 3n is to 2n. That is 12 is to 6. That is 4. 4 is to 6. That is 2 is to 3. So if it is 2 is to 3, just let me check. Some calculation mistake. 2 by third of total tetrahedral voids 4 by 3n. Okay, it will be n, not 2n. Okay, that's why it is. Because B is n. That is 4 by 3 is to 1. That is 4 is to 3. That is A4, B3. That will be the correct answer. A4, B3. Next question. A compound formed by elements A and B has a cubic structure in which A atoms are at corners of the cube and B atoms are at the face centers. Write the formula of the compounds. Now, in this case, try to understand which are the lattice points. Which of these are lattice points? Yes, Savneesh, correct answer. Now, it is given a compound formed by elements A and B has a cubic structure, cubic, not hexagonal. Okay. In which A atoms are at the corners of the cube and B atoms are the face centers. So, corners contribution, you know. So, A, all 8 corners, B at the face centers are at face centers. Means how many faces? 6 contribution of each face. It means A, B, 3. Yeah. Also, I got answer Aviral, Ritika. No, not Ritika. Vijayan. Correct. Avnish. Avnish, probably you have written 2 there. Yes. Should be 3. Yeah. Ritika. Correct. Next question. An ionic compound made up of A and B has a face-centered cubic arrangement in which atom A are at the corners and B are at the face centers. If one of the atoms is missing, and that's why this question becomes very important. This question, as it is, has appeared many a times in board examination, okay, without any change, as it is. If one of the atoms is missing from one corner, what is the simplest formula of the compound? And it is very simple question basically. It says A are at corners. So normally A would have been 1, but A is missing for one corner. If one of the atoms is missing from the corner, and what is at the corner? A are at the corners. That means instead of 8, it will be 7. That's the only thing you have to understand here. One atom is missing from the corner and A are at the corner. So instead of 8, you will consider 7. And B are at face centers. So there are 6 faces and contribution of each face is 6. So it will be 3. It means the ratio of A's to B is 7 by 8 is to 3. That is 7 is to 24. Means A 7, B 24. Yeah. Aviral, Upanyu, Avnish have given me correct answers already. The contribution, otherwise it would have been A, B 3. The contribution from all corners 1, contribution from faces 3. So it would have been AB 3. And if you, instead of 7, if you consider 8, it is actually AB 3. 8 is to 24 is actually 1 is to 3. But because instead of 8, we considered 7, that's why A7, B24. Next question. Calculate the approximate number of unit cells present in 1 gram of gold, given that gold crystallizes in FCC. That is, atomic mass of gold is 198 units. So from here, you can calculate total number of atoms. Okay? Approximate total number of atoms. From that, you can get the number of unit cells also. How? Look here. 1 mole of gold will be 198 gram, will have 6.022 into 10 power 23 atoms. You should use 6.022. Okay? Normally in old guides of IIT, it is 2.23 mostly. But in NCRT, it is 0.22. So we know that 1 mole gold atomic mass is 197. So one mole will be 197 gram. And 1 mole of anything has 6.022 into 10 power 23 entities. Here we are talking about atoms. So those many atoms. So from here we can get in 1 gram how many atoms will be there. So these many atoms will be. Now see the question. What type of lattice we are talking about? Gold crystallizes in face-centered cubic lattice. Face-centered cubic means face-centered from corners. Contribution will be 1. from faces contribution will be 3, it means total 4 atoms per unit cell. Contribution in face centered cubic is 4 atoms, 1 from all the corners and 3 from the faces. So if in one unit cell there are 4 atoms and we know the number of atoms, we can calculate the number of unit cells. Okay? 4 atoms constitute one unit cell. Hence, these many atoms will constitute unitary method. Okay. So from that, we calculated, we will divide it by 4. These many unit cells are there. Okay. So that was asked here. Calculate the approximate number of unit cells. This is the answer. Yes, overall approximately same answer. Now packing efficiency. Packing efficiency means how much space in the lattice is occupied per unit cell. So unit cell, simple primitive unit cell, these have only atoms only at corners. Face centered have on faces also, S centered have on opposite faces also, body centered has one in atom, the atom in the body also. So in all these, in total, how much space is occupied percentage wise, that is called packing efficiency. So packing efficiency is the percentage of total space filled by the particles. So because it is percentage, if we calculate for one unit cell, it will be same for the whole lattice. So we will be calculating it for one cell. Packing fraction is the fraction of total space filled by the particles. How we calculate it? So for simple cubic unit cell, where there are only corner atoms. So in this case, try to understand, all the atoms are touching one another. If we have the cross-sectional view of the unit cell, each corner has 1/8 contribution, 1/8 part of the atom. But the more important part here is that if the diameter or say radius of the sphere is r, then the edge of the cube is r plus r, that is 2r. So if this edge is a, this is sum of the radius of two spheres. And we know the volume of the sphere 4/3 pi r cube. Because we know the volume of the sphere, total contribution of all the atoms in this simple cubic cell is one atom. 8 into 1/8 from corners, that is one atom. And volume of one atom, we can calculate 4/3 pi r cube. And volume of the cube itself, whole cube, because we have to calculate the volume of atom as compared to the whole cube, is a cube, because it is cube of side a, which is 2r whole cube. So we know the volume of the solid part, occupied part, which is obviously the volume of atom, and volume of the whole cube. If we divide the occupied part by the whole and multiply by 100, we will get the percentage. So that's how we calculate the percentage packing efficiency. So side is 2r, the volume of the sphere 4/3 pi r cube. The volume of the cube is 2r whole cube, that is 8r cube. We divided, we got the packing fraction, and we multiplied by 100, we got packing efficiency. Any confusion? Let me know if you are not able to get any. Yes, 52.4 approximately the packing efficiency. And you have to remember these values. Although we have calculated here, you have to remember these values. So packing efficiency is occupied part, which will be the atoms volume, divided by total volume, which will be the volume of the cube. The volume of cube in all cases will be same, A cube. However, the occupied part will change whether total contribution is 1, whether total contribution is 1 plus 1, or whether contribution is 1 plus 3. Okay, so based on that, packing efficiency will change. But don't think that if the total contribution is 1 plus 3, 4, it will be 4 times of 52.4. Okay, it won't be like that. Why it won't be like that? I'll tell you, because the size of the cube will also increase. So in those cases, obviously the side will not be 2r. And we will have to calculate the side with Pythagoras theorem. How we will calculate, I'll tell you. Suppose this one, face-centered cubic. And first try to visualize it, only then you will be able to understand. In face-centered cubic, you still have the same 1/8 contribution at the corners. But on each face, you have half the circle. Now, because half the circle is there, that's why these corner parts do not touch each other. They are not touching now each other. It means the edge length is more than 2r. How we can calculate that is still easier in this case, because we know this length. This length will be r plus 2r plus r. Radius, then the whole diameter of the middle one, and then radius. Means if I name it like A, B, C, then AC is equal to 4R. R, 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 R. And if I know the AC, then I can apply Pythagoras theorem. That is AB square plus BC square equals to AC square. And AB and BC are equal because it is square here. This portion is square. It means AB square plus AB square equals to AC square, that is 4R whole square. Means 2AB square equals to 16R square. Means AB equals to 2 root 2R. It will be 8R square. 8 square root will be 2 root 2. And R square root will be R. So the side of the square we got as 2 root 2R. The moment we got AB, we can calculate the volume of cube. Volume of cube total will be A cube, that is 2 root 2 R whole. Okay. So we know the total volume of the cube. Now, volume of occupied space. In face-centered cubic, How many atoms you have? Total 4. 3 plus 1 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Volume of one sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. That is 16 by 3 pi r V occupied. V total. The packing efficiency will be V occupied upon V total into 100. When you solve it, you will get the packing efficiency as 74%. Okay. The notes are anyway available online, so you can go through the notes. Whether you write it 32 by root 2, yeah, the same thing, or you write 16 root 2. I have calculated here. So the aim is to get the edge of the cube. If you get the length of the edge, you can calculate the volume. So in the next one also, however, that is even one more step tricky. We will be calculating the edge. So in next case, packing efficiency in body-centered cubic structure. Slightly tricky approach again. Now here is still the atoms have gap in the edge. So we cannot say that the side is exactly 2r. We have to calculate. But how do we calculate this one? Here we need to consider the body diagonal instead of face diagonal. In previous case, we considered face diagonal. Okay? So this was diagonal of the face. In this case, we will consider the body diagonal, means from one end to another end, opposite end of the body. And if we now see here, the body end now is 4r. R, 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 R. So now body diagonal is equal to 4r. From that, we will get face diagonal. And from face diagonal, we will get edge. So from this one, body diagonal, we will get the face diagonal using the Pythagoras theorem. Why? Because this angle will be 90°. So this edge A and the body diagonal and sorry, and the face diagonal and the body diagonal form a 90° angle. So if we know the body diagonal, we can get from that the face diagonal and that term and then the edge. How we do that? That is something like here. Try to understand. So this AD is actually equal to 4r. Okay, let me explain. I'll explain as it is given here. So AD is 4r. Okay, so this AD is 4r because it will have R, 2R, and R. Now face diagonal AC will be AB square plus BC square from here. AC, this one, will be AB square plus BC square. So AC will be, if this is A, AC will be A root 2. By Pythagoras theorem, it will be A root 2 because this will be 90-degree angle. So from here we got the face diagonal in terms of A. And this is something we know is 4R. And this is A. This side is A. So now we know another 90-degree angle which contains face diagonal, edge, and body diagonal. So face diagonal is A root 2, edge is A, and body diagonal is 4R. We can apply Pythagoras theorem now here. So it will be A root 2 whole square plus A square will be equal to 4R whole square. So from here we will get relationship between A and R. Okay. Remember, we are trying to find A in terms of R because we know that the volume of the sphere can be calculated in terms of R. So total in body centered, there are two atoms. So the occupancy will be 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. So the occupied volume we already know in terms of R, but the cube volume will be A cube. So we need to calculate A in terms of R so that R and R can get cancelled. So from here we get 2A square plus A square equals to 16R square. Means 3A square equals to 16R square. A square equals to 16 by 3R square. A equals to 4 by root 3 R. So the moment we get A equals to 4 by root 3 R, we can calculate total volume equals to A cube, that is 4 by root 3 R whole cube. We get from here 64 by 3 root 3 R cube. However, total volume we know 8 by 3 pi R cube. Okay, occupied volume. Now divide occupied volume by total volume, multiply by 100. We get the occupancy as same as, no, here 68%. 8 by 3 pi r cube is the occupied volume divided by total volume. You get 0.68 multiplied by 100, 68%. Any confusion you can ask if there is any confusion. In all these cases, we are calculating the occupied volume. Occupied volume will be of the spheres which are there. In simple closed, in simple cubic, it will be 1 sphere. In body centered 2, in face centered 4, 1 plus 3, 4. And for total volume, we have to calculate the volume of the cube, that is A cube. So we calculate A in terms of R.